Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Radical series. All of us want to receive so many things in our life like love, abundance, success, but somewhere we feel that something is blocking it. So today we're going to talk about how to address those blocks in receiving what we want to receive. Now, a lot of us feel that we face a lot of difficulties or we face a lot of obstacles in receiving what we want to receive or what we want to achieve in our life. So, some of us perceive that there is a resistance and obstacle posed by people in our immediate surrounding. It could be people at work, it could be a business partner, anybody. Or we feel that there could be a resistance from the metaphysical world. So, some of you would have been told by people that there could be an interplay or an interference by the dark elements, which somewhere are not letting you move forward or are creating and posing obstacles in what you want to receive. Like, commonly, you would have heard of the word evil eye, where people would be telling you that deliberately there are people who are trying to attempt sabotaging what you want to receive or achieve. So, when you feel that there is a resistance or an obstacle from the outside environment, what do most of us do? So, some of us would either resign, they would just simply give in, they would like let things just happen the way they're happening and then not kind of bother about it, or give charge to people and let the other people do what they have to do for you. A lot of us could be feeling very pessimistic, low, bitter, and then maybe blame people for what has happened or what is happening to us. Some people take back like a back step. They escape and then they just run away from people or possibilities that they think are creating obstacles in their path of achievement or in the path of what they want to receive in life. Some people also will fight and put a very bold face and they will struggle and they will try and achieve what they want to do. But there is a better solution to this. And that is what I'm going to talk about today. But before we understand what is a solution, we need to understand a few very crucial things. So you feel that there is a lot of obstacle, there is a resistance, there is objection which is caused by people in what you want to do or what you want to receive. But remember that somewhere this is actually a projection of your own inner resistance to move forward and progress in life. Now you will say, how is that possible? I want success, for example. Then how am I projecting this inner resistance? So I'll give you an example. Like, a lot of you might want to receive success and achieve success in your whatever you have started with. Now think about it. Some of you could actually be scared that in case you become successful, you will not be able to handle the rapid rate of success. Some of you might feel guilty that if you become successful, you might leave behind a lot of people in your immediate surrounding, and that might be very uncomfortable to you. Some of you could feel that if you are successful, there is a possibility that you can invite jealousy from people around you. Some of you could feel that you could be lonely if you become successful. Some of you, even if you think that what will happen once you become successful, you're so unsure. So this is an example of success, but in a lot of things, if you think about that, what you want to receive, if it actually is easily and freely available to you, are you really prepared to receive it freely and easily? Are you prepared to handle it? Are you? Do you know what will happen when you receive it? So when you can answer and probe into these questions, you'll realize that some of us actually are not prepared. And we just think from the conscious mind that we are ready to receive. But it's the subconscious that then creates this resistance. And then it, in a form, invites these obstacles from the outside, from people or from situations. And then we console ourselves that we tried, but it didn't work out. So instead of trying to blame people, blame possibilities and situations for not being able to receive, we need to work with that part of your personality that is creating that resistance. And it could not only be with success. For example, if you want to receive love, but a part of you has an association of love with hurt. So we with Redikall address that part of your personality that is resistant to receive what at the conscious level you want to receive. So that is an important step that we do to address this. Another thing is, which you can very interestingly do is, which is another solution, is to find an ingenious and innovative and an offbeat approach when there is an obstacle posed by a person or by a possibility. It's like I'm asking you to be smart and take a smart detour, because it's not like everything in life can be achieved by just by power or by trying to fight it. Sometimes you can achieve things and receive things by taking a short detour and being smart about it. Now let me explain what I mean by being smart about it, so that you don't go off tangent and take another meaning. It's like, I'll give you the example and the metaphor of a river. Now if you look at the river changes its course of flow when there are a lot of big rocks which are obstructing its flow. So the river does not waste its time negotiating the rock. What it does is it takes an alternative approach and then goes back and flows in the chosen direction after a after a small detour, right? And it's flexible. So sometimes when there is an obstacle or there is a difficulty, all you need to do is to be flexible, take a smart detour and bypass the difficulty, and then go back and walk in that same chosen direction and path you were walking. Now you might say, what could be that? Thank you so much for the hearts and the love. So now you would ask, what can you change? Now you can even change your approach. You can change your course of action like the river. You can even change your attitude. Like, how can you change your attitude? For example, sometimes if it is important, maybe it's a good idea to be lie low, be humble, or bow your head down, or sometimes comply and just play along with that jealous relative, for example, for some time, and then to take that detour and bypass the obstacle and then move ahead in the same direction. So that is another way of working with your blocks. Another way to work with your blocks is to recognize the beliefs you have about receiving. So, what is the most common belief about receiving? What do you feel? The most common that I have come across is that it is okay to give and it's not so okay to receive, is what I have actually realized when we work with students. So, you need to see what are your beliefs related to receiving and what are your unpleasant associations related to receiving. Some of you feel small when you receive. So again, with so many students, we've realized that a lot of spouses feel small when they have to receive money from their counterparts. or they have unpleasant associations of seeing things, like if they are they feel that if they receive fame and recognition they might get judged, so that makes them uncomfortable. If they receive a lot of money, they will, again, like how I shared earlier, be lonely. Or if they receive appreciation, they will become arrogant. So you need to see what are your beliefs and associations with what you want to receive. And if you're not at the subconscious level, sabotaging and blocking your own receivables. Some people feel that if they receive, they will have to reciprocate. And then that feels like a burden, and you feel tied down, you feel bound. You don't always have to reciprocate in the way you think. Like I'll give you on a lighter note. You receive oxygen, air, water. You don't reciprocate to them back. So I'll tell you how we can deal with that. So another way to address these blocks is to work with your guilts of somewhere blocking other people's progress. And so then you take upon yourself that guilt and don't allow yourself to progress and move. And the most apt solution to addressing your blocks and receiving is start being a channel of of all that you want to receive, and a channel of all the resources. Now, in the universe, there is a flow of resources. There is a flow of love. There is a flow of abundance. There is a flow of everything. And it is as easily available as air and water. What we need to do is align to that flow. And through radical techniques, we help you align to that flow. And when you align, you have to also, there is something that I'll share with you, that it's like payment is important when you receive. So you need to pay when you receive something. But payment does not mean you need to pay money or in the same order of what you receive. You can pay in form of gratitude, of thank you, paying in form of other resources, by channelizing other resources, by sharing, by distributing, by by all these kind of things. And you can somewhere pay back to the source or other people, because everybody who gives does not only give with the intent of that they have to receive, they just give. So when you are ready to receive, you also should start consciously being ready to give and distribute, either back to the source or to the people who need it. And that's when you become an amazing channel of resources. And it's more easy to then receive love, appreciation, abundance, because when you receive, you give, and it's that loop that you create for yourself. People who receive and give and remain channels find it more easy to receive what they want in life. So with that, I'm going to share some R5 statements which will also help us address the blocks in receiving. And the more we address the blocks in receiving, the giver will find it more easy to give us what we want to receive. So let us settle in a peaceful place and close your eyes. So I'll give you a minute. So repeat these R5 statements with me to address the blocks in receiving. I, R5, my need to experience blocks in receiving. I, R5, my need to experience blocks in receiving. I, R5, my need to experience blocks in receiving. I, R5, my need to experience difficulties in receiving. I, R5, my need to experience difficulties in receiving. R5, my need to experience difficulties in receiving. R5, my energetic blocks. R5, my energetic blocks. R5, my energetic blocks. R5, my karmic blocks. R5, my karmic blocks. R5, my karmic blocks. R5, my need to take a smart detour. R5, my need to take a smart detour. R5, my need to take a smart detour. R5, my inner resistance. R5, my inner resistance. R5, my inner resistance. R5, my beliefs in receiving. R5, my beliefs in receiving. R5, my beliefs. R5, my unpleasant associations with receiving. R5, my unpleasant associations with receiving. R5, my unpleasant associations with receiving. R5, my guilt of blocking others' progress. R5, my guilt of blocking others' progress. R5, my guilt of blocking others' progress. R5, my need to take a smart detour. R5, my need to take a smart detour. R5, my need to take a smart detour. R5, my need to go down before I rise again. R5, my need to go down before I rise again. R5, my need to go down before I rise again. And the affirmation for today is, I grow beyond my perceived obstacles in a smart manner. I grow beyond my perceived obstacles in a smart manner. I grow beyond my perceived obstacles in a smart manner.